Hello everybody, Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Sunday morning. This is release weekend for some brand new heroes from the card game Marvel Champions from Fantasy Flight Games. And so I've already done one unboxing video and playthrough of X-23, so really enjoyed playing with that new hero. Look forward to things that we'll be building with her as the days roll by. But today I'm going to open up a brand new hero pack, Deadpool. So of course we know that Deadpool comes with a brand new aspect that you can use in the game. So far we've only had 4 aspects for the last few years, and now we get an additional aspect added through Deadpool. So it's a little bit bigger, 78 card hero pack this time instead of traditional sized hero packs. A little bit bigger, so there's extra cards, hopefully extra cards for the aspect. Now I have taken a look at some of the cards from Deadpool already, whereas X-23 I went into that pretty blind. I have seen some of the cards, but I've got some questions about Deadpool, one of which is, since we're getting a new aspect, do we get it like a full round of all the aspect cards, like, or do we have to purchase 2 packs? So I'm curious about that. So far we haven't. So far you hadn't had to buy more than 1 pack to round out all of your aspect cards in the game. So let my cat out of the room. All right, and let's get to opening some cards. All right. Okay, let's see. We got the tape here, the traditional piece of tape that we always have that holds the pack together in transport. Good thing, right? Don't want your Deadpool cards spilling out over the ground. By the way, we're breaking the rules today. I'm not using a Marvel mat, but it is a mat that was produced by Fantasy Flight Games. Some of you may recognize it. And again, I purchased my cards from the Griffons Lair. Those were sent to me, got them on Friday. Didn't get a chance to open up Deadpool yet, but we're still within that release weekend. So let's see what we got here. Let me crack this open here off on the side of the screen. Of course, we always dig for the rules, and we have 2 things that popped out there. Okay, it looks like, well, this looks like what would be the poster. Okay, so we got Deadpool riding on what looks like a giant eyeball, but looks like a bomb, actually. And he's slicing and dicing some Mexican food. And on the spot the differences. How many differences can you find? Like the cereal box when we were kids. Okay, so we have, that's the well, figures. There would be some interesting things here in the pack. I guess this is our rules. Hopefully we've got some explanation to some new rules. Maybe they needed 2 sides of the, needed 2 sides in order to explain what's going on here with Deadpool. So let's take a look at the rules here briefly. It says the Deadpool Hero Pack. Deadpool is a rock star who solves more problems than anyone. Okay, so this has obviously been edited by our guy here. Oh, and Deadpool's Lackeys is the expansion design and development, Tony Fanchi, and Deadpool. So we've got some edits here. I saw that some of the cards were edited, so it looks like it would make sense that the rules would be edited too. So yeah, let's see if there's anything new. There's the keyword piercing, keyword team up, frequently asked questions. Do acceleration tokens count as acceleration icons, and vice versa? No. The 2 perform a similar function, but they're not equivalent. So that's apparently going to be referenced here in these cards in the game. What does it mean to search your collection when using ability Arm to the Teeth? Arm to the Teeth allows you to search through all of your Marvel Champions cards outside the current game for a card with the weapon trait from any aspect which excludes campaign and identity specific cards. This can form an aspect different from your deck's chosen aspect. So it allows you to go search your collection. So some more kind of zany things to do here with Deadpool. And let's look at the other side. Here's the pool aspect, explains that. Just like aggression, leadership, and protection, using the pool aspect counts as an aspect for all gameplay purposes. Okay. And there's some edited cards. Deadpool has edited some cards from Marvel Champions Core with tape and marker. I saw some of those are pretty clever. worthy of him and has incorporated them into the pool aspect. These cards should be played using their improved text, including Deadpool's edits. All right, so the player costs. This expansion includes player cards with a player or per player cost indicated by the icon. Of course, we've seen the Amplify icon before. Featured keywords are Alliance, Ranged, and Victory X. And then we've got some FAQ down here at the end. So those are the rules. I won't spend a lot of time looking at those now. I may bring them out if I'm looking through the cards here and there's some kind of a question that I have. Let's get into these cards. So we got the poster, we got the rules. Here's our pack of wrapped up cards, and let's get inside of those. Bring out my old timer for these purposes. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this in a safe out of the view of the camera here. I'm not as skilled maybe as Deadpool with wielding knives. Here's Deadpool. All right. And let's see what we've got going on with Deadpool today. So anyhow, here is our hero of the day, Deadpool. I'm not going to sleeve the cards because I don't intend on doing a playthrough just yet, so I'll sleeve those afterwards. But anyhow, let's take a look at Deadpool. He has a thwart of 2, an attack of 2, a defense of 1, and we have some zeros behind it. Oh, nice. We got these little comic boxes here. Ignore these zeros. That's more like it. Deadpool Core is his trait. He's also X-Force. It says the regeneration degenerate. Forced interrupt. When you would be defeated, instead, set your hit point dial to 1, change to alter ego form, and add 1 acceleration token to the main scheme. So now we're talking about tokens. Wade Wilson, recovery of 8. Well, hello, handsome. He's a mercenary and a mutant. Sometimes I'm a mutant, sometimes I'm not. Depends on who you ask. There's a little asterisk next to his mutant ability there. It says, break the fourth wall action. Discard a card from your hand. Search your deck for a Deadpool event and add it to your hand. Limit once per round. All right, so he has a recovery of 8. Hand size of 6. Hit points of 9. And over here he has a hand size of 5 and hit points of 9. So you can go search, discard a card from your hand, search your deck for a Deadpool event. Okay. So I'll set the hero card off to here for now. And let's start going through the deck here. So we've got Cable, who is his signature ally. He has a thwart of 1, attack of 2. There's a star next to both. It says Cable gets +1 thwart and +1 attack for each acceleration token on the main scheme to a maximum of +3 thwart and +3 attack. Wade, you're my best bud, is what Nathan Summers has to say. All right, so that is his signature ally. We'll just put the allies right here. All right, let's take a look at the next. It's exhausting personality. Hero action, choose. Place 1 acceleration token on the main scheme, stun and confuse the villain, or exhaust a player's identity. That player draws 1 card for each acceleration token on the main scheme. So it's a way to draw more cards. Or place an acceleration and stun and confuse for 0 cost. I really like that. Just get 1 of those, though. So exhausting personality is our next card. All right, so we have maximum effort, which we have more than 1 copy, 2 copies of maximum effort. Hero action, take any amount of damage up to your remaining hit points. Deal an equal amount of damage to an enemy. Up to your remaining hit points. So I guess you could defeat yourself with maximum effort to do maximum damage to, and then whenever you would be defeated, instead set your hit point dial to 1, change to alter ego form, add acceleration token to the main scheme. So maximum effort is a way that you can knock yourself out to do a ton of damage, maybe the finishing damage onto your enemy. All right. Meta knowledge is our next card. Hero interrupt, another event. It says when an encounter card is revealed, cancel all of its effects and discard it. Take 1 damage for each boost, special, and boost icon in that card's boost area. So you take damage to cancel out an encounter card that's revealed. So if it's one of those, it's got extra. Okay, so Meta Knowledge is a good one. Yoo-hoo is the next card, and it is an event. We have 2 of these. It says Thwart, hero action. Thwart, take any amount of damage up to your remaining hit points. Remove an equal amount of threat from a scheme. Okay, any amount of damage up to your remaining hit points. So it's just like the attack one earlier, maximum effort. Now we have removing any amount of, take any amount of damage, remove an equal amount of threat from a scheme, from a scheme. It cost us 1, all right? We have Montage, which is a resource. It says this card generates 1 additional wild resource for each acceleration token on the main scheme to a maximum of 3. So, okay, you start loading up that main scheme with those acceleration tokens. And now you've got some pretty good economy, but definitely don't want to draw that early, right? 1 additional resource. Maximum of 3 additional resources. So it's going to be 1 resource. It could be up to 4 resources for Montage. Interesting. All right, Chimichanga Truck is our next one. It's a location support. After an identity makes a basic recovery, exhaust Chimichanga Truck and ready that identity. All right, so you can go down in alter ego form. You get yourself a Chimichanga, and you can be readied. Okay, good. All right, now we are to our upgrades here. These are our signature upgrades. Arm to the Teeth. It says response. After you play Arm to the Teeth, search your collection for 1 weapon upgrade and any aspect and attach it face down here. Action, exhaust Arm to the Teeth, swap the card attached here with a weapon upgrade you control. All right, so this is where we were talking about earlier in the rules about digging into your collection to find cards. And that is an upgrade. You can swap out the weapon that's on that upgrade with one that you brought in from your collection. So here's another upgrade. It's Deadpool's Katana. And it looks like we have 2 of those. Weapon, restricted, hero action. Attack, exhaust Deadpool's Katana. Take 1 damage, deal 2 damage to an enemy. This attack gains piercing. All right, so we add his katanas. We're damaging ourselves to damage others. I get it. All right. Deadpool's Katana. All right, so now we are to another upgrade, which is It Ain't Over. It's a condition. It says attached to the main scheme. Increase the target threat value of attached scheme by 2 for each acceleration token on it. Oh, nice. So add that to the main scheme. So yeah, that looks like a good card for this particular deck. So that's a good one. I like that. And then this card is fire. This card is fire. Event. Looks like it's on fire. Nice artwork there. It says force response. After your turn ends, if this card is in your hand, take 1 damage. Okay, hero action. Attack. Deal X damage to an enemy. X is the amount of damage you have sustained. So this is a very clever card. So you draw up your hand size, your turn ends, and if you have it in your hand, then it burns you. You take 1 damage. This card is fire. All right, that's another event. So I think that's all of the signature cards that's in the Deadpool set. So it looks like there's quite a few more to go through. So this will be part of his aspect here. So now we're going to start with Dogpool. We got some allies. Dogpool has a thwart of 0, an attack of 1. He's a Deadpool core. Retaliate 1, toughness. When defeated, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Okay, so he's defeated, he does damage, but he does have that acceleration icon on him. So, yeah. Retaliate, toughness. Oh, he's got toughness. Yeah, deal 1 damage to an enemy. So, interesting ally there. Cost 3, Deadpool, or Dogpool. Next we have Headpool, who has an amplify icon on his card. So looks like the allies here, yep, they've all got symbols on them. Headpool says he has a thwart of 2, an attack of 1, Deadpool core zombie. Response, after Headpool attacks and damages a minion, that minion attacks another enemy of your choice. And he has one health, the Deadpool. All right, so after he attacks and damages a minion, that minion attacks another enemy of your choice. And I guess that's like a one-shot then, right, for Deadpool. Kidpool is our next ally. He has a thwart of 1, an attack of 2. He has 2 health, Deadpool core. Kidpool's attacks gain piercing and another acceleration icon. Piercing costs 3 to put Mr. Kidpool out. Next we have Lady Deadpool. So at least we got a decent amount of allies so far in the game. A thwart of 2, an attack of 2, Deadpool core. When defeated, defeat a non-elite minion. And she has the amplify icon on her. So lots of icons and tokens are going to be on the table when you're playing Deadpool. Good, bad, ugly, not sure yet. Have to try it out and see. All right, Barely a Scratch is our next event. And looks like we have a full round of those, 3 copies of Barely a Scratch. It is a defense. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, prevent 1 of that damage for each of these icons: Crisis, Acceleration, Amplify, and Hazard icon in play. So these are icons, not necessarily tokens, based upon what we read there in the rules. So for each of these icons that are on the table, when you take any amount of damage, it's 0 cost, Barely a Scratch. So if you got a bunch of these icons on the table, could be helpful. So there's some more events. So we got a full round of those. We got the Cut Upper, which is one of those taped on cards from before, over Uppercut. So we're familiar with Uppercut. This is an event, costs 3, attack, hero action, deal 5 damage to an enemy. We're used to that. And then we're putting some tape on there, stun that enemy, squeak instead of smack. All right, and he's dressed up like a clown. So, here we go. Max 1 per deck. So you can only have one of these in your deck anyway, so you wouldn't need to get an extra copy of Deadpool in order to have a full round of Cut Upper, because you can only have 1 per deck. So far, those are the kinds of things I'm looking for. The next one is the Bomb. It is a cost $6 event. Max 1 per deck, hero action, deal 10 damage to the villain, deal 1 damage to each enemy in hero, and hero for each of the 4 different icons in play. Also, that's like a Hulk smash with additional damage for all these. But it costs 6, so it's going to be kind of steep to pay for. Interesting to see how they tackle that one. 6, the Bomb. That's the poster there. Signature image from the poster. All right, so the next one is not Get Ready, but Get Ragey. It says action, ready an ally. That ally gets +1 attack till the end of the phase. You call that a pull-up, Sergeant Deadpool? All right, so max 1 per deck. So again, here's how that is addressed, where you don't have to get extra copies because you can only have 1 per deck anyway. All right, so Get Ragey. All right. Next one is I've Got This, and we have, looks like 3 copies of that. I've Got This. Hero action, if the following icons are on 1 or more cards in play, and then it goes through all 4 icons. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Remove 2 threat from a scheme. Ready an ally you control, or draw 1 card. Okay, I got this. So the following icons are on 1 or more cards in play. Okay. So it's a 1 cost. So quite a few things you could do for 1 cost if you've got those icons out there on the table. All right, this is great responsibility. Nope, not my responsibility. Well, they cross out the hero part. So you can play this event in alter ego form. When any amount of threat would be placed on a scheme, you or your ally takes it as damage instead. Nice. So you could throw your allies in front to prevent threat from being placed on a scheme. That's pretty clever. I like that. I like that addition to that card. And we got another 6 coster here. It's an event. Max 1 per deck. Hero action. Thwart. Remove 5 threat from the main scheme, ignoring the crisis icon. Remove 1 threat from each scheme for each of these additional icons in play. So again, another cost 6 card in the game. Pool inspection. That's another event. So far we have a lot of events that we can customize our deck with. This is all, I'm assuming, still part of the pre-con. Next we have one of our PSS, player side schemes. Live dangerously, victory 0. Each identity gets +2 hand size. And then we have the crisis, amplify, acceleration, and hazard icons. Nothing can cause me pain, not even an oncoming train. Deadpool. 0 cost to get a +2 hand size, but you get all these icons out on the table. I really like it. And it goes with the victory display. So you lose your hand size if you thread it out, so use that one when needed. So I'll go ahead and put the player side scheme over here. All right. So those are all different types of cards. We've got the hero cards, ally, event, resource, support, upgrade, and player side scheme. So here we go with a resource. It says self-confidence. Looking good there, Deadpool. Max 1 per deck. Double the number of resources this card generates if your identity has sustained less than 5 damage. Triple the resources instead if you have sustained no damage. So 3 resources if you have sustained no damage. So the way sustained damage works is you look at what your max health is currently. So like if you have, I think if you have any cards on the table that increase your health threshold, it would be minus that. So let's say you have endurance and you add 3 to your max health. So you'd have to be at 13 if you're a 10 health hero. So I'm not going to try to explain it, but yeah, so that's what sustained damage is. I'd looked that up once before on sustained damage. So it's how much you have sustained so far. So if you're at full health, according to your current health meter, then you get 3 resources for that one. So that's self-confidence. It has a fist resource on it. Here's self-control, which has a mental resource on it. Looks like it's going to be similar. Double the number of resources this card generates if your identity sustained less than 5 damage. Okay. Triple the resource instead if you have sustained no damage. So it's 1 to 3 resources for self-control and self-preservation. Here we are. Here's the energy one. Max 1 per deck. Double the number of resources this generates if your identity is sustained. And then the 5. Triple 3. Yeah. So there it is. The resources. So far we have 4 resource cards included in the deck. And next we're going to go to Get Good, which is a unique card. So only 1. And it can be included in your deck. It says reduce the cost to play Get Good by 2 if you do not win your previous game of Marvel Champions. So it's free if you lost the last game that you played. So that'll probably be half the time free for me. Forced to interrupt when a player would be defeated, then set their hit point dial to 1 and change to alter ego form instead. Remove this card from the game. Okay, so playing multiplayer, this is a way to get good. All right, so that's an upgrade. We'll set that right over there. Next we have Healing Factor, and we have 3 copies of those. Healing Factors, max 1 per player. Response, after the player phase begins, exhaust Healing Factor, heal 2 damage from your identity. It's max 1 per player. Okay, so your Healing Factor allows you to heal at the beginning of the player phase. Nice. And we get 3 copies of those. Can only have 1 per player. So we'll set that down there for now. All right, next. Here's an upgrade. It says max 1 per deck. Upgrade, and it's Stick-to-itiveness. Stick-to-itiveness, which is an upgrade. Hero action. Spend a fist resource and exhaust this card. Ready your hero. That's what so it's replacing tenacity. Max 1 per deck. So spend a fist. This card doesn't go away, which is always kind of what I had trouble with tenacity. You know, You ready your hero, but then that card goes away, and you spent money for it. So, all right, here's an event, and it's a basic event. First basic card I've seen so far. So we'll take a look at it. It is Frenemies, Team Up, Cable and Deadpool, max 1 per deck. Hero action, thwart, deal 1 damage to each, 1 damage each to Cable and Deadpool. Remove 3 threat from a scheme and 3 threat from a different scheme. Okay, do damage to your guys to remove lots of threats. So that's our first so far. It looks like only basic card in the hero in the precon deck. All right, so let's take a look at what is our obligation here. It says give to the Wade Wilson player. It's the Merc with the mouth. Exhaust each ally you control. Allies you control cannot ready. Other players cannot resolve player card abilities during your turn. Exhaust each ally you control. You can't ready the allies. Other players cannot resolve player card abilities during your turn. So it's kind of neutering a lot of things there. It says force response after the player phase ends. If you have not talked this phase, discard this card. After the player phase ends. Not talked this phase, discard it. Well, that's made interesting on a playthrough, right? A playthrough video where I'd have to remain silent and won't be able to talk. I don't know, maybe that's good for you. That might be a little hard for me. Very clever. Good job, guys, with that obligation. Cool. All right, next is our Deadpool Nemesis, which is the Butler. He has a scheme of 2, an attack of 1. The scheme says, forced interrupt when Butler schemes. Place that threat on involuntary procedures if able. So that is his okay, side scheme here. Involuntary procedures. When Butler schemes, place that threat on involuntary procedures if able. This is Deadpool's Nemesis minion. If it's drawn as a boost, you are confused. 3 health, though, so not much health. Let's see what involuntary procedures does. It says force response after Deadpool takes any amount of damage, place 1 threat here. Then if there is 10 or more threat here, remove this card from the game. It's got a hazard icon on it. After he takes any amount of damage, place 1 threat here. 10 or more threat here, remove this card from the game. So it starts with 6. And a hazard icon on it. All right, so that's involuntary procedures. And so the Butler adds threat to involuntary procedures. Let's see how that works out. Let's see what these supportive cards here are for the Deadpool Nemesis. It says attached to your identity, treat your identity's printed text box as blank except for traits. Okay, so that's one way to keep Deadpool from being able to recover after he's defeated. It says alter ego action, spend 2 mental resources to discard this card. If it's drawn as a boost, attach tabula rasa 16 to your identity. So that's tabula rasa 16 to your identity. All right, that's an attachment, part of his Nemesis set here. Then we have a mutated soldier who has toughness, comes out into play with toughness, 5 health, scheme of 1, attack of 1, force response after mutated soldier activates, heal all damage from it. So you just can't plink that guy away. You're going to have to defeat him all in one swoop unless you want him to keep coming back. And he's got that toughness on him, so he's sticking around. So I actually like that mutated soldier. And we get 2 of them here in the Deadpool Nemesis set. Nice. All right. So that is all of the cards. No, wait. We got the Crisis of Infinite Deadpools is a treachery card. It says when revealed, reveal the set-aside Dreadpool minion and Dreadful Deeds side scheme. Shuffle the rest of the set-aside Dreadpool encounter set into the encounter deck. Remove this card from the game. Okay, let me look at I'll pull out the rules on that one. I've seen I've seen the critical encounters had spoiled Deadpool. Let's see if there's anything here in the rules on that. Using the pool aspect, bringing Deadpools from across the multiverse. Let's see, it says, when setting up the game in which at least one player is using the pool aspect, shuffle one copy of the Crisis of Infinite Deadpools treachery card into the encounter deck. Set the rest of the Deadpool modular encounter set aside. This encounter set is shuffled into the encounter deck when the Crisis of Infinite Deadpool is revealed. Okay. So it's like an extra minion, a nemesis. Yeah, minion. So Crisis and Infinite Deadpools, when revealed, reveal the set aside Deadpool minion and Dreadful Deeds. So let's look at those. Deadpool and Dreadful Deeds. Deadpool here says that he has a scheme of 2, an attack of 2 as an assassin elite. Deadpool engages the first player. When defeated, deal Deadpool to the player who defeated him as a face-down encounter card. Okay, so we got apparently a bad Deadpool in the game. And these are all cards that get set aside except for that Crisis of Infinite Deadpools. That one gets shuffled into your deck just like Shadow of the Past. And when it gets revealed, it brings out these other cards. But it doesn't happen if it's drawn as a boost. Okay. So, Deadpool, then we've got Dreadful Deeds, which is when revealed, place 2 threat here for each player who controls 1 or more pool pink cards. Okay. And then we've got, so if you've got multiple people playing pool, Dreadful Deeds comes out, bad news. Anti-Regeneration Ray. This is attached to Deadpool, or Dreadpool, otherwise attached to the villain. Force Interrupt. When attached character attacks a non-villain character, treat the attached character's text box as if it were blank except for traits until the end of the attack. Hero action. You can spend all 3 types of resources to attach this card to your identity. Oh, so you can grab it. Nice. And then we've got pool sized. It says after attached pool ally as a pool attached. I'm sorry, let me read that again. Poolized. Attachment. Treat attached ally as a pool minion with a blank text box. Attached minion scheme is equal to its printed thwart, and it does not take consequential damage. And we get 2 of those, and then we got Metacidal Tendencies. When revealed, deal 2 damage to each Deadpool core character, 3 damage instead of Deadpools in play. If no damage was dealt this way, place 1 acceleration token on the main scheme. Not good. If you got a bunch of Deadpool core characters on the table. And that's where we stop. So these are all the cards that you would use basically if you wanted to just play with a pre-con setup. So here's all of the cards for his hero kit. You've got his obligation. You got his nemesis set, and we've got the Deadpool set. So that's what you'll need in order to play a game, because here we are, stop. And then the extra cards would be after the stop card. Looks like there's some edits to the list here. Okay, so I'll set the list over here. All right, so we are getting there. Now let's take a look at some more. So we get some more allies. That's just great. Bob, Agent of Hydra, good. He is a thwart of 1, attack of 1. Hydra 2 is his health. Response, after Bob, Agent of Hydra enters play, deal 2 damage to an enemy or remove 1 threat from a scheme. And there's another one of those acceleration icons on that ally. Let's see, is there any more? Yeah, looks like there's a few allies, and they look like they all have icons on them. So Negasonic Teenage Warhead, Interrupt. So he's thwart of 2, attack of 2, 4 health, Psionic X-Force. Interrupt. When a treachery is revealed, deal 2 damage to Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Cancel that treachery's when revealed effects. There's an ally we can work with. We got the Panda Pool. 0 thwart, 3 attack, 4 health. He comes into play with toughness, and he has a hazard icon on him. Panda Pool. It looks like that's going to be all of your aspect allies that you get, which are quite a few actually. So you can do some customizing, play differently. Looks like fun. Break Time is our next one. It says that it's an alliance, max 1 per deck, so only one that you can have in your deck. And you spend 3, that's 3 per player, to play Break Time. Alter ego action. Take a group break, leave the table, read a comic book. When you come back to the game, heal 1 damage from each identity for every minute you were away from the game. Break Time. So, call the TVA, right? And see who's cheating on that one. So, Break Time. Interested to know which comic book you'll pick up and read while you take your break on your break time. All right. All of you, actually, because it's an alliance card. All right, next. Get in front of me is a max 1 per deck, according to the text box down below. It's an event. It replaces Get Behind Me. It says Get in Front of Me, Hero Interrupt. When a treachery card is revealed from the encounter deck, cancel its when revealed effects. The villain attacks you instead. If an ally or another hero defends this attack, draw 1 card. Okay, so drawing cards by throwing your guys out in front of you. Good job there. So we got Mulligan. Looks like we have 3 copies of Mulligan. So full round of them. Don't need to get an extra pack just to get all of your Mulligans. And let's see what it says. It says you cannot play this card if you have played another card this phase. So spend 3, discard your hand, basically. Discard your hand, draw a new hand, draw up to your hand size. I like it. Mulligan. Need that in the other aspects, too. Deadpool Core Ship is our vehicle support. It says action, exhaust Deadpool Core Ship, and deal yourself 1 face-down encounter card. Put a pool ally into play from your hand. Nice. It's a way to go grab your allies back using the Deadpool Core Ship. Just fly them right back into the game there. Excellent. All right. Plot Convergence is a unique card. Cost 2. Support. Exhaust Plot Convenience. Choose. Attach 1 aspect card from your hand face down here to a maximum of 3. Or you can add 1 card attached face down here to your hand. Any player may trigger this ability. Interesting. Support. Plot Convenience. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 copies of Ambush, which is an upgrade, and it has a crisis icon on it. It says attach to a side scheme, max 1 per side scheme. Interrupt. When attached side scheme is defeated, discard a non-elite minion. All right, ways to get rid of minions, non-elite minions, by ambushing them, by knocking out a side scheme. And that's an upgrade. I'll set that right over there. Next, we have our Bazooka. We have 2 copies of Bazooka, which is an upgrade, restricted to max 2 per deck, so it's good because you get 2 copies here. Hero action, discard Bazooka, deal 1 damage to an enemy for each crisis. All 4 different icons there in play. This attack gains ranged. Discard Bazooka, deal 1 damage to an enemy for each. So the Bazooka could really go off if you get a bunch of these icons out there on the table. I'm looking at you, Live Dangerously. All right, nice. Next one is a Blackout. Metagame. Hero action. This is an upgrade. Spend 1 resource of any type. Move 1 threat from a scheme to an empty scheme space above. That matches the spent resource. If all spaces are filled, discard this card and confuse the villain. So it's a meta game where you can spend resources to get rid of threat to play. That's fun. That's like a little side game that you could play. Blackout. That's charming. All right, we'll set that right down there. We have Distraction. We have how many copies of Distraction? 3. They cost 0. They are an upgrade attached to a non-elite minion, max 1 per minion. Attached minion cannot activate. But there's a crisis icon on it. So as long as that non-elite minion is in play, you cannot remove threat from the main scheme. Distraction. So you have to see how that one works. Next we got laser swords, which is an upgrade. Counts as 2 restricted cards. So this takes up your entire slot of restricted cards, max 1 per deck. So there's our uniqueness there. Your hero gets +1 attack for each of all 4 different icons in play, maximum of 4. For each. All right, so 4. +1 attack. So you could be a +4 attack if all the icons are on the table. So laser swords looks like fun. Next we got rock, paper, scissors, which is another meta game. It says exhaust this card, choose 1 card in your hand and discard the top card of your deck. Using the diagram above, if the printed resource on the chosen card beats the points to a printed resource on the discarded card, add the discarded card to your hand. Okay. It's another fun upgrade meta game, little bitty side game that you could play while you're playing. So it looks like fun. Here's another one, tic-tac-toe. Hero action, spend 1 resource of any type, move 1 damage from a character to an empty space above, matching the spent resource. If there are 3 damage tokens in a line, deal all damage on this card to an enemy and discard this card. Interesting. All right, some more metagame. I'm going to put those in for sure. I got to play with those. That's going to be fun. All right, and next we have War, which is our final card in the entire kit. And that is an upgrade. It says hero action. It's another metagame. Exhaust War. Discard the top card of the encounter deck. Take 1 damage for each of the icons, both special and boost icons, in the boost area of that card. Discard the top card of your deck. Deal damage to an enemy equal to that card's cost. Okay. Looks like a fun, maybe make domino pool deck. All right, that's it. I really like it. Looks like lots of fun. Looks like lots of things you can do. I was a little concerned, you add an additional aspect to the game. And what is that going to do to the game? Is it going to be enough to sustain itself? Will we get more cards from this particular pool aspect? I hope so. That'll just increase our opportunities to customize some fun stuff here. But it looks like there's a lot of things to digest with all of these brand new cards, brand new aspects. So really good. We've got the winter months coming up, so maybe we'll be indoors and we'll be able to sit down and play some Deadpool. Or maybe we'll add the pool to some of our existing heroes and see how things pan out there. Interested to see how this works with the Spider-Woman deck. So I think I want to build a Spider-Woman, part pool, maybe part justice, and see what I can accomplish with that. So anyway, so if you're interested in picking up your copy of Deadpool, you haven't done so yet, there is a nice place that you can purchase it from. It's the Griffons Lair. It's a brick and mortar game store in Pennsylvania, both in Erie and Pittsburgh. You can pick up Marvel Champions there. You can pick up miniatures there. They specialize in those as well. Viewers of my channel can get 15% off if you use a coupon for the Griffons Lair, and I'll put the coupon code in the notes down below. A good place to buy from. Good folks to work with there. So I enjoy my relationship with them, and I was really happy to get my cards quickly, to get them on the release day. So I actually had this Friday because of life. Didn't get a chance to open things up as quickly as I would have liked, but certainly this morning, Sunday morning, this is release weekend. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm going to build a Deadpool deck. I'll either do the pre-con or I'll put something together here and try to play a game and record it later on this evening. But until then, I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me here on YouTube. You can catch me on Twitch. I do live plays on Twitch as well. Also catch me on Facebook or Discord, Board Game Lawyer or BGL. Thanks for watching my opening of Deadpool today. Enjoyed it. And I guess, I don't know, people know how many differences there are. Spot the differences. How many different differences can you find Be nice if there was, like on the cereal box, there's generally a place where it tells you how many there are. I see some upside down text here on the rules, so yep. Well, at least it won't be a mystery. So how many differences did you find? Put that in the comments down below before you look. And be interested in finding out. So thanks for everyone for watching today. Have a good day, and we'll catch you again soon.